The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
What a debate last night, bearing no resemblance to the President Obama of the first debate, Lewis. I mean, it could not have been more of a change from what we saw in that first debate, could it?
Totally different. I think, I don't know. I still don't know if it was the altitude or if it was just being safe, playing defense on Obama's part in the first debate. He dominated this debate.
It was incredible, and we'll get to what the right-wing pundits are saying about the debate. It's no surprise, but first let's get into the content of it. One thing, more a form thing rather than function, Mitt Romney really didn't seem to understand the rules of the debate, constantly complaining to Candy Crowley about the timing and this and that, and she's saying, you know, I'm not sure that the rules work that way. It's funny, Mitt doesn't even understand the rules of the debate, but he can fix the entire American economy. It's really hard to believe, don't you think?
Yeah, I doubt he'd be able to fix much.
One difference right away that we saw was President Obama, as opposed to sitting idly by as Mitt Romney lies, he called out when Romney said certain things weren't true. Let's take a little bit of a look at what that sounded like, Lewis, because I thought it was definitely one of the stronger things that President Obama did, which is you don't have to be overly aggressive, just indicate that your opponent is not telling the truth, and he did that.
And very little of what Governor Romney just said is true. Candy, what Governor Romney said just isn't true.
And the president's statement of my policy is completely and totally wrong.
Governor,
let me come back. In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
And production on gas is down 9%.
It's just not true. And when Governor Romney says the challenge is, well, Obama didn't try, that's not true.
All right, so that I thought was very strong. Any reason, guys, that we think that this is, you know, from the right, we know what we're going to hear. Well, in saying that things weren't true, he was interrupting, and that's rude. Yeah, rude, almost as rude as you calling the guy a Muslim communist for the last 4 years.
Right. And lying to the American public is also rude.
The one moment that got kind of awkward, I think the worst moment for Romney was the Libya debacle, where he completely self-destructed, and we'll get to that. But I think that the most tense moment overall was the moment when the two candidates kind of started walking in circles. It was the first time that they engaged each other, which, by the way, not that I care personally, but just as a point of interest, is against the rules that both candidates, as well as the debate commission, agreed to, which is the candidates will not address each other. Here's the first time where they did. And right away, it got contentious. And I think eventually President Obama, realizing he doesn't want to be seen as aggressive here, and he walked back over to his chair. But this I think, was the most tense moment.
It's not what you've done in the last 4 years. That's the problem. Sure. In the last 4 years, you cut permits and licenses on federal land and federal waters in half.
Not true, Governor Romney.
So how much did you cut them by?
Not true.
By how much did you cut them by then?
Governor, we have actually produced more oil.
No. How much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land and federal waters?
Governor Romney, here's what we did. There were a whole bunch of oil companies.
No, I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer a question?
How much did you cut them by?
I'm happy to answer the question.
All right, and it is?
Here's what happened. You had a whole bunch of oil companies who had leases on public lands that they weren't using. So what we said was, you can't just sit on this for 10, 20, 30 years. Decide when you want to drill, when you want to produce, when it's most profitable for you. These are public lands. So if you want to drill on public lands, you use it or you lose it.
Okay, now
and so what we did was take away those leases, and we are now reletting them.
Oh, yeah.
So that we can actually make a profit.
And production on government lands is down.
No, it isn't.
Production on government land of oil is down 14%.
And then Obama smartly starting to walk away.
And production on gas is down 9%.
It's just not true.
It's absolutely true. Look.
All right. So what were you guys when that happens? Like, some people I know, when they watch something like that, and also sometimes when the moderator is trying to interject and the candidates don't allow it, they get nervous. Like the audience, some people I know personally, they get very nervous when that happens. Other people think it's funny. What's your reaction when that type of thing starts to happen?
I get excited. I just can't wait to see what happens.
Right.
And Obama did a good job. He answered the question very specifically with what he did. And I think it made Romney look bad. And when Romney kept saying, I'm asking you this question, you know, and interrupting Obama.
Right.
I don't think it looked very good.
It kind of backfired on Romney.
Yeah.
On the jobs question, which was the first question from a student named Jeremy, I thought right away we're going in the wrong direction. I was saying what President Obama needs to say is the Bush policies that Mitt Romney would continue are the ones that led to this jobs problem in the first place. He didn't say that. And I think that initially I thought, uh-oh, this might not be going well. But then we actually saw the change happen. And that happened later on, I think as early as the gas price question. And this was President Obama's really the first strong statement of all the debates so far, all two of them, was what Governor Romney said just isn't true. That's what we've all been waiting for. I mean, people were just waiting to say, when is Obama going to start pointing out that Romney has been lying?
Yeah. Is it enough to say that? To say that's just not true? I mean, if you're someone who tends to agree with Romney more often and be on his side, I mean, you're going to believe one of these guys as to which one is saying the other one is not telling the truth.
If you're already so far into the Romney camp, then it doesn't matter what Obama does, it's not going to sway your vote. I think the point is for those very few, and again, I don't even understand how somebody could still be undecided at this point, but we keep hearing some people are still undecided. It's for those people that seeing strength from President Obama makes sense. And also, in order to make Obama supporters who may not vote more enthusiastic about voting, I think that's really where President Obama's enthusiasm makes a difference, Natan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Democrats were and are becoming more and more fired up as a result of this performance. I don't know that there's really that many undecideds. I know that the media talks about how they're going to decide the election, but it's very possible that this election won't be decided by the small amount of undecideds. It'll be decided by voter turnout and how many of the base of each party comes out.
Exactly. And I think, Lewis, when President Obama does call out lies, it makes those President Obama supporters who aren't that into voting more into going out and casting that ballot.
It can only help.